I'm Professor Liz Sturgiss, and my favourite piece is the rook.
Good afternoon, Professor Liz Sturgiss. Thank you for joining me for a game of chess, and we'll do a bit of an interview afterwards. Do you know how the chess clock works?
Yes, I do. Well, you taught me, so now I know.
Okay.
There we go.
So let's start. There we go.
Fabulous.
Tap for you.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Thank you.
All good.
This is very next level with the clock, I have to say.
So can you tell me why the rook is your favourite piece?
You're being very kind because I called it a castle. So the rook is my favourite piece because it's steadfast and simple.
Steadfast and simple, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it moves orthogonal directions.
Yeah. It's kind of a simple piece to learn about, maybe. Although maybe it's just that I don't know much about it, so that's why I think it's simple. Could be the other. But you're going to have to watch what I do because often I might make illegal moves or move pieces in ways they're not allowed to go. My children often tell me I do that. Yeah. So do you do the interview while you're doing the chess, or you're?
We just do a bit of chatter just at the beginning, and then we do the interview post-game interview.
Oh.
Really. Yeah. Because otherwise it's way too hard to
Come on.
think and play at the same time.
Now, okay. The last game of chess I played was on those huge, big board pieces. So you have to stand up and move them around. Just realised that I'm a competitive person because even though I have no idea how to play chess at all, I still want to beat you, Michael.
That's the goal, I guess.
Now, I should take him, right?
Maybe.
Are you allowed to give clues? Oh, wait, no.
The pawn is attacking both your bishop and the queen, so I do feel like you probably need to do something.
It can take a piece on an angle.
It's, in a diagonal.
Yeah, okay. Oh. But then you're gonna, I'll just have to do that. Oh. Did you touch that?
You didn't pick it up. There we go.
This might be where the saying, don't play chess with pigeons comes from, perhaps.
Maybe. Now you're at the university, at the Bond University.
I'm at Bond. Yes, that's right. Yeah. Only since January. The heat is killing me.
Is it?
It's a very hot place.
It's a good move.
To Bond? Or the chess?
Oh, the chess piece.
And Bond. Was it?
Yeah, that was quite good.
Oh, great. Excellent. I have watched a little bit of Magnus online.
Yes.
Don't really understand what they're all doing, but maybe something's like seeped into my brain.
Check, by the way.
Oh, damn it. Maybe it hasn't seeped in. But I can do this.
You can, but you probably shouldn't have.
No. See, you complimented me on that one, so then I was looking over there, so then I forgot what I was actually meant to be protecting. Never mind. I'm going to run out of time. So what happens if we run out of time?
You lose.
Okay.
Okay. A little bit tricky. So Bond University is in the Gold Coast.
Yes.
Is that right?
It is, yeah. Oh, I forgot my timer. Oh, damn it. Yeah, so it's very warm and it's the humidity that's the killer, really. Having grown up and been most of my life in Canberra, which is a very dry climate. But very friendly and welcoming people for sure.
Yep.
Known for its beautiful beaches, but the mountains are actually spectacular. Now, can I take him?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Really beautiful mountain bushwalks.
Check.
Aye. Can I take? No, I'm just going to have to move my. Oh, this is going to get annoying, isn't it? Oh wait, I'll just do this. Can I? Oh no, one square.
One space.
One square. Oh. Well, I'm just going to hide.
Can't move there.
I can't move there? Wait.
So,
Oh, yes. Oh, no.
Yep. And what will I do?
Which way will you kill me? Oh, fancy. Okay. And you're white. You're okay. I'm stuck. I think I'm just going to run out of my time.
Maybe.
Is that very unsatisfying if it's just a timing issue?
No, it's all good.
Okay. You don't mind which way you kill me. You're happy to beat me any which way.
Oh, that's my...
Oh, whoopsie. Okay. Oh, wait, I'll take this one. There we go.
All right, that's a check. Careful.
Mm-hmm. 23 seconds. Nowhere close.
Check.
Oh, no. Gonna go down fighting.
Check.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
And
8 seconds.
that's mate. All right, thank you for the game. That's a good fun.
Well, I have absolutely no idea what just happened, Michael.
That's all right. That's all right. Because you mentioned before that you hadn't really played chess before the game.
Well, I've played with my very young son who beats me as well. It was only recently I learnt that you can't move your pawns on a diagonal. So that's the kind of level of player I am.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for being a good sport.
Not at all.
I wanted to speak to you about some of your academic work.
Yeah.
And I know you've been at a number of different universities in Australia. Now, as mentioned before, currently at Bond University. And my understanding is that you've recently been publishing a set of, would you call it criteria? A CRISP?
Yeah, recommendations we're going to go with.
Okay.
No one likes to be told what to do. So, it's called the CRISP checklist. So it's Consensus Reporting Items for Studies in Primary Care. Very nice acronym by Bill Phillips, my US colleague. And that really started because we're looking at how we can enhance the reporting of primary care research. So often, you know, we write our papers as a researcher, but it doesn't really give the reader what they need in terms of understanding what you've done, but also really importantly, the context of primary care and where the research was done.
And for the audience, when you speak of primary care, can you just flesh that out a little bit?
Gosh, that's the ultimate question, isn't it, Michael? I guess in this, we're really talking about healthcare, where it's the first point of contact with the healthcare system. So in Australia, that's often general practice or other community settings like pharmacy, where you don't need a referral. You can just present yourself for healthcare, and either your healthcare happens there or you get directed and coordinated with other services.
So in the Australian setting, often we think of primary care as general practice, but in other parts of the world, primary care is organised quite differently. A lot of the people who watch your show are from the United States. And for example, you've got family physicians there, but you also have nurse practitioners, which are a much larger proportion of primary care compared to here.
But growing numbers of nurse practitioners in Australia for sure. But we're lucky in Australia in that we do have, in principle anyway, universal access to healthcare and our Medicare system that does help people to access care.
Now, with research in the primary care setting, what makes it different to other healthcare settings? Let's say particularly hospital settings where we might want to have something like a checklist so that the reader knows, is able to understand the study in its full context.
So it's really interesting. There's actually a huge amount of work to get to the checklist. You kind of look at this checklist, but it was 5 years worth of research because we were asking researchers plus clinicians and patients, you know, when you're looking at research, what do you want from it? The biggest piece that was missing was that often, someone might do a research project in, say, a hospital setting, but then trying to apply it in primary care, or even the other way, it's done in primary care, but it doesn't take into account things like, you know, lots of patients have more than one health condition, that, you know, it's not a first meeting of a provider. You've known the provider a really long time. There might be a team of people available to be part of your care. Often in research, you know, we really like things to be maybe a bit more like chess, where it's very clinical, black and white, and defined, whereas primary care is often not like that. It's a bit messy. People don't fit in neat boxes with their health conditions, and we have to have research that reflects that in a better way.
So the way I sort of understand this is, I know we sort of talk about messiness a bit, but it's really that reality is a bit complex, and researching complex systems, if we treat the intervention like it was a simple drug experiment.
Or a lab in a lab.
Yes, that's right. We potentially can misunderstand the way we should be interpreting the results.
Absolutely. And so my PhD I did in obesity, per se, and one of the things I really studied was the therapeutic relationship. So often if you're doing, say, a lab-based trial or even a trial in a hospital setting, you might not see the same kind of mechanisms that we do in primary care. So we know that if you have a trusted provider that you've known for a time, that they know your story and who you are, you actually have better health outcomes.
Yes.
And that kind of thing is becoming more captured in the data. But like our checklist for the primary care research reporting, therapeutic relationship is a really important part of that.
Now, in terms of the checklist, what sort of items? I don't expect you to have memorised them off the top of your head, but what sort of items are in the checklist?
Yeah, so it talks a lot about the context. And when we say context, we mean, well, if we do a research study in Australia, knowing a bit about how the healthcare system works, how you access primary care, how all the bits of the health system fit together, is really important, because when we design an intervention here, it might not work in the same way as the US.
Yes.
So the context. We talk a lot about if the patient already knows the providers, if they've already got that ongoing relationship, and who are the members of the team that are available. Really good descriptions of the team. The whole project started actually with Bill Phillips and I had a conversation at NAPCRAG, which is another big conference in North America, and we were both trying to do a review, and the description of the providers in the studies was not really great. They just said, primary care providers. But that could have been someone with, a layperson with 6 weeks training versus a nurse practitioner versus a pharmacist versus a doctor. And if you don't know who's part of the intervention, when you try and take that person's research and put it in your own setting, you can't build it in the same way because you don't know what they did.
What else is in the checklist?
So it really focuses in on patient and healthcare consumer voice and what are important outcomes for them. So when you've chosen your outcomes in your study, is it an outcome that's been used before in primary care and validated? And is it an outcome that patients have said is important for them? And then translation and thinking about what that looks like in other settings. The other one I really like in there actually is thinking is around multimorbidity and whether the research takes into account that people have more than one condition, either in the way it's set up or the way that findings are interpreted.
So that just certainly has some implication about, I suppose, the transferability. So if the study is based on a population with index conditions, say, but they only have that index condition, where in reality, people actually might have more than, well, that condition will commonly co-occur with other things, then the people who only have the condition and nothing else may not actually be very representative of who you might see day to day in practice.
Exactly. And a lot of the time, researchers, we like to have things neat and sharp and nicely defined. And so it is rarer to see studies that take that multimorbidity into account.
It's a, I'm sure this is a philosophical discussion we have in research methods where there's a challenge behind being identify causal things, which you need to control as many things as possible. But in doing that very often in health systems, yes, you demonstrate one thing causes another thing, but it's not relevant at all in actual clinical practice.
Absolutely. Nailed it on the head there. And I think that the CRISP initiative is actually trying to make us think about primary care methods and primary care research in a much bigger way, because it is a very special and unique specialty. And sometimes just doing the methods and the way of research done in other, more lab-based, more clinical, more pharmacological studies is not what our area of research needs.
Now, I've spoken to you about this previously, Liz, that you've written one of my favourite methodological papers. Actually, probably is my favourite methodological papers on critical realism, which I think was published, was it in Family Practice?
Family Practice, the
Oxford University Family Practice. Critical realism is I suppose it's a research paradigm, a way of seeing how to understand reality. Would you be able to talk a little bit about what critical realism is? And there's a great analogy in that paper, which I think might have a little bit of relevance with your CRISP checklist.
So you're really testing me now, Michael, and I know there are lots of people who I would say are more highly qualified than me, so I hope I don't mince my words and make them all cranky, because you know how researchers can be. But I wrote that paper with Professor Alex Clark, who's now the current president at the University of Athabasca. So And I was lucky to spend some time in Canada for my PhD, and I went to a workshop that he delivered on critical realism.
Yeah.
And I remember my mind being absolutely just like blown at that workshop with thinking about reality and what is reality.
Yeah.
And definitely as doctors and, biomedically minded people, we're really trained to think very black and white. There's one right answer. And critical realism says there is a reality, but that we will all have a different perspective of looking at that reality, and you'll never actually be able to know what is truly true because you can only see what you can see.
Yes.
It's too philosophical there. I'm not sure. What do you think, Michael?
Yeah, no, my understanding of critical realism, which has also been known, I think, as scientific realism, is ontological reality, so that there is such a thing as a real world, and this real world is mind independent. It doesn't depend on human observers, and so the stuff is there.
Yes.
But potentially we take a critical approach to epistemology. So in terms of how we as the would-be knower engages with reality is flawed and biased. It's filtered through our conscious minds, and we each only have a certain perspective of that. But that doesn't deny the existence of the real world. But
it's still there.
That's right. But we only have a flawed understanding of it through our senses and our understanding.
Yes. You put it much more eloquently than I did, Michael. Are you thinking about the Mr. Tickle?
Mr. Tickle analogy.
So that's Alex's analogy, and we wrote that paper together. I said, look, analogy is just perfect, and it really needs to be written down somewhere. We put it in the paper, and you generously allowed it to go in that paper. So, Mr. Tickle's one of the Mr. Men characters. He's got big, long, loopy arms, and he makes people happy by tickling them. So he goes around tickling people.
Yeah.
And Alex tells the story that, if we took Mr. Tickle and popped him at a bus stop in everyday suburban Australia, and he just started randomly tickling people waiting at the bus stop, would that be an effective intervention? Would he make people feel happy and joyful? Probably not.
Yes.
Is he'd probably be arrested and carted off to who knows where, poor Mr. Tickle. And so it's talking about that, you can take your intervention, which is Mr. Tickle, but if he's not in the right context, such as a bus stop, instead of being in Mr. Men land or wherever they all live, then he can actually do harm and have really poor outcomes. And so if we think about interventions as just this very, defined thing that it doesn't matter where it is, then we kind of miss the whole point. And it's actually, I think that's a really important thing to think about in primary care.
Yeah, because certainly there is, because I work in some health services research, that it is very natural for people to place the power within the program. So in this health setting, maybe in Western Australia or in Queensland, they did this. Notionally, this is what the program looks like. There's these people who work in it, and we made some sort of intervention that we've described to patients, and we got this effect. And the belief that you can transplant that to a different health service and expect the same result without understanding the context.
Absolutely. And we sometimes miss the active ingredients, where it was something about that particular community and the relationships with the providers, sometimes even something about the provider themselves. And so that's not directly transferable.
And I'm trying to sort of cast my mind back towards sort of integrated care types of terminology. They talk about, rather than think of the intervention like a drug as in power in of itself, you need to understand the context, you need to understand what the potential efficacious mechanisms actually are. And the relationship between the two with the outcomes.
That's right. Yeah, so you like thinking about then realist evaluation is probably the most well-known method with context, mechanism and outcomes. And I like to do lots of different thinking around, what is the context and what is the mechanism? Because sometimes it can be really hard to unpack the two when we're looking at what's happening in a setting. For an example, so in primary care, we talk a lot about the therapeutic alliance and that really strong relationship. And we often think about it as a mechanism, but I wonder actually if it's actually a context. And it is important, because if you're making a program and you know it works within the context of a strong relationship, but if you're building the program to make the relationship, it might actually not work, if that makes sense.
Yes. So it's, just again, thinking within the mental health sphere, which is where I work, but we sort of have this sort of general understanding, if people follow up with their GP after a discharge from hospital, that they have better outcomes. But it's not the fact that they have a GP in inverted commas. And so if you just create a program where you force patients to go to a random GP, they probably won't get better outcomes. It's something about that observation and probably about the relationship that makes that work. If it's not the existence of the GP, it's actually the existence of the relationship, and that's the actual mechanism.
Yes, or maybe the context.
Yeah, maybe. So Liz, what's next with CRISP in terms of sort of implementation? What's the take-up been like, and where do you think that's going to go? Yeah,
it's been amazing working with Professor Bill Phillips. So he's an emeritus professor at Washington University in Seattle. And I've learnt so much about translation and dissemination from Bill. He's the master. So he's really good at communicating, getting the word out. So it's now recommended in in a number of journals. So, often when you publish a paper, the journal says, have a look at these checklists to make sure and so a lot of journals in the primary care sphere have now recommended CRISP, which is fantastic. And then translations. So it's now in Turkish, German, Spanish, French, Chinese, got Japanese on the way, Portuguese. And that's sort of bringing a lot of new primary care researchers into our sphere and thinking about high quality primary care research.
Yeah, certainly improving the quality of the knowledge dissemination, just in terms of reporting, because the work's been done.
That's exactly right. But it's interesting too, I've also been reflecting on, there's a few people who teach primary care research using it for their novice researchers.
Oh, rightio.
When you're developing a primary care research study, have a think about these. That's sort of the backwards use of the checklist.
Yeah, so, virtuous cycle, I guess. Because I have to admit, I do that with, I'm probably more familiar with there's a qualitative research checklist, and often, that does become, have you actually thought about all these issues? Because you don't have to report on them.
Yeah, exactly. So you hope that eventually maybe people can use that to set up studies that are a bit more reflective of primary care.
Thank you very much for speaking to me today. It's actually remarkably chilly in Geelong. I'm gradually freezing. But thank you very much for the game. Thank you for the chat. And I'm sure we'll chat again in future conferences.
That's great, Michael. Thank you.
Good. Thank you.